Really?
Johnny, I'm going to sneak up on you.
That's normal, David. That's normal.
It's always quite intriguing to see what you're up to. Now then,
Well,
I know you've been talking about your LAPADA Fair. Is this something to do with it?
well, this is the LAPADA Fair mock-up, and I know it sounds childish, but I like it to keep it simple. So
Okay.
I've built the whole stand absolutely to scale out of recycled cardboard envelopes from this place and that place, and
Oh my.
the kids' exercise books and ever.
Right.
So everything here is done to plan, and it's
Okay.
all dovetailing in with Rusty's fantastic book, Britain on the High Seas, War and Wealth.
Which will be released when?
It's at the printers. We should get 300 copies beginning of September, and then
Right.
a couple of weeks to post them out, and then we'll have them at the show. And hopefully, if my simplistic plan works, this will be the stand.
Okay, so hang on a minute then. So we're going to visit the LAPADA show.
Yeah.
And this is it. So we're going to walk into the show.
Yeah.
We've got a dining table.
So this is a 10.5 meter stand. Sorry, 10.3 meters by 3 meter stand.
Yeah,
So
right.
very wide, but quite narrow.
Okay.
But we have this huge fireplace that Nelson will have sat in this room.
Yeah.
And we have these huge racing flags which came off the Royal Sailing Yacht Britannia. Well, King Edward was 7th, would have been sailing her. So they take up a huge amount of space.
Okay, so this is vital then, because you're investing a huge amount of money at this LAPADA Fair.
Don't
in
talk
London.
about money.
I'm not going to
Don't
talk
talk
about
about money.
I promise you, I won't. I won't talk. But we know it's an awful lot of money to be there. So this is
Yeah.
a lot of time and effort in the planning, and I love this.
But it's passion. It's not spending money, it's investing money in what we do and what we believe in.
In your business and your life. It's your life, isn't it?
It's not just spending, it's trying to do it really well.
Yeah.
I want to go to this show, and even if I sell nothing, which is unlikely, I want to know that I've done it to the best of my ability, and more importantly, I've supported Rusty with her year's work of the book to make it look really good as well.
Absolutely right. But I just want to have a look at that cardboard model there.
Okay.
And then what I will do is I will drop in video footage of the finished stand. And we'll see which one looks the best, Jolly.
Me or the stand? I'll be scruffy as anything as normal. Hey ho. So what I'm about to do, here's this fire surround,
Yeah.
which is unbelievable. Nelson would have sat in this room,
That's incredible.
and it was made in 1775 by a gentleman called Toosey, and was in the National Society in Bishop Street.
Yeah.
So, without going into a lot of detail, it's just a supremely beautiful piece of work. And then we've got Nelson himself, who on the top here, and then his arch rival Napoleon, and then we've got Wellington. So the three major men of the time.
Yeah.
So all I'm doing here, everything is to scale. I'm just cutting out the aperture here, because in the aperture I'm going to put a pair of wonderful 19th century cannon and an original knee out of HMS Victory, which seems very fitting for the thing I'm trying to achieve.
Is this the knee that you told me about recently you bought in Australia?
Yep.
Wow.
Okay. So
that is the Nelson fire
we've got a
surround.
halfway mark. So the knee's going to come in here with two cannon. So this is a huge 7x6 or 7x55 Corinthian flag, and the Royal.
And do we have a picture of that?
Yeah, if you don't mind waiting.
No, go for it.
Oh, there's the knee.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Just explain what a knee is.
So that would be a bracing knee. So like this here, that's bracing those corners to stop it falling over. So that's exactly what that would have done on board ship.
Oh, I see.
Underneath the decks, or in this case for the anchor, where they used to lift the anchor.
Goodness gracious. So that's going to be displayed.
That's original to the ship in 1759.
Right. Okay.
So
wowza.
So there's a lot. So here we have. Well, that is the racing flag off Britannia.
Okay.
Now, she also had some decorative Prince of Wales flags that were often put up when the Prince and the King were on board. But this was actually the racing flag, and we have the original letter from Buckingham Palace gifting it to the Royal Albert Yacht Club.
Okay, now where is that going to go on the stand?
That will go on this here, and then the Corinthian flag, which probably I won't be able to find. easily for you, which in many respects even rarer, because I've had 2 of those flags, but I have never had the Corinthian flag. Maybe I just can't find it. You're going to have to wait or visit us.
Well, I will. I'll come and see you.
Do you know? You're going to have to wait, David.
Can you show me anything else that will be going on the stand? Have you got any pictures of the dining table?
Yeah. Well, all of this, a lot of this will go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of my personal favourites.
Is that going to the show?
Yeah, this is a Montague Dawson of a ship.
Yeah.
Called Repulse. Now there were 12 ships called Repulse, but we got it down to 2. Now, being a marine man and a yachtsman, having sailed through the Bear Biscay, she's really going at a great speed, full sail. You can see he's got it absolutely perfectly. Everything's stretching, everything's straining.
Yeah.
And they're pushing this vessel. They're not taking life easy, and you can see the phosphorus and the way the ship's breaking into the wave and coming down into the wave in front. And that is going to be going there. And then above that will go this huge reverse glass picture on glass of Marlborough and the Foudroyant. And of course, Foudroyant, for those that don't know, was Nelson's flagship prior to the victory. Yeah. But this is big.
Yeah. And of course, the Foudroyant, people may well have seen on TV programmes or antique reference books, objects made out of the Foudroyant when she was wrecked.
Indeed.
Everything from corkscrews to, Vesta cases, all made out of that ship. And so she's going where?
Every now and then they made a really beautiful bench.
Out of the Foudroyant? No way.
Yeah.
Have you got this?
I have got this, but I'm not taking it. It sort of doesn't, it takes up a bit too much room.
Okay, let's have a look at that.
Of course, Rusty wants it because it takes lots of storage for coats, but I'm not taking it.
Now, that's interesting because that looks much earlier than the Foudroyant. So it's obviously made in a much earlier style, wasn't it?
Yes, the timbers, this would have been made by that company, Goodall, Lamb and Hayway, who bought the ship and bought all the copper and everything. And that there is one of the pressed out copper plates, and I've had numerous ones over there, of the Foudroyant, but we didn't want to clean it. We wanted to keep it as it was. But that's very typical of a piece of...
Isn't that fascinating, though? Fascinating. And the dining table, this is going to take centre stage. Is this going to be one of your main pieces, or will it be something to house objects?
It's a very good campaign table.
Oh, interesting.
And it was made by a gentleman called Stuart, who was also an engineer.
Yeah.
And it's got a special mechanism. I'm trying to find it for you here. It's got an extraordinarily complicated mechanism.
Right.
And if you don't press the right button at the right time, it doesn't open. So I'm going to keep that out.
Okay.
Where is it? Have you hidden it, David? You're trying to catch me out and make me look at silly Billy.
So all of these cutouts are exactly to scale?
Yes. Well, I hope. Being dyslexic, they might not be. But yes is the answer. They are. And I have to, for once in my life, I've double-checked everything. So there's the first one. So here we are.
Right. Okay, let's have a look. So a campaign dining table.
Or a gentleman's table. All the legs unscrew and have the most amazing brass collars with brass screw threads.
Okay.
You press a button at one end, and you take the leaves out, press a button, that folds over, press another button, it swivels round and closes to a side table or console table.
That's quite amazing, isn't it? So period, what was that, early
1815? Yeah, 1815.
Okay, so a campaign table made for...
It was made by Charles Stewart.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot of research, and he was a gentleman who made it. We found adverts, and he made for the gentry.
Right.
And he was in St Martin's Lane, where all the great cabinet makers were.
Yeah.
All original timber, original everything.
Okay, so a campaign table, for those that don't know, something made to travel.
Go on campaign.
Yeah.
Naval or military. Having said that, it could easily have been for a gentleman to have, because it was very fashionable to have things like that.
And of course, if somebody was involved in the East India Company, high up in that organisation, and that they were travelling across the tropics, they could indeed take with them a campaign dining table. Why wouldn't you?
What else are they going to eat off?
Exactly. When you're in the middle of the wilderness.
Yeah, military chests. We've all had hundreds of them.
Yeah.
But they often come, not you get them very often now, in their original pine cases for shipping.
Yeah.
So and they had areas for their charts or their maps or this thing or that thing. I mean, they were very, very ingenious.
Yeah,
and there was whole books being written on campaign furniture.
It's a fascinating subject.
I mean, moving on, David, otherwise I'll be
Go
keeping
on.
it.
Yeah.
This is an extraordinary Chinese gold and blue silk brocade.
Okay, now where is this going on the stand?
This is going to run down the middle of this dining table.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It is in mint condition.
Okay, so tell me about it. What period is
Well,
it?
it's not my thing at all, this, until I looked, and it was wrapped up in a piece of Tate & Lyle brown paper.
What?
And on there it says, navy and gold Chinese material brought back by Admiral Robert Coote.
Right.
Chinese, circa 1880. As it happens, I've owned some cannon called the Coote cannon.
Right.
Now, if you look at this man's history, he ran the China station. So there's no doubt that it was his. And it's been kept, I imagine, in the family forever.
Yeah.
Because it's come through the family.
Just wrapped up.
In this beautiful piece of brown. So we're going to stretch it down here because it'll be beautifully protected. And we're going to put items not too heavy, probably 1 or 2 light bronzes.
Yeah.
Or just have them behind so it shows them off. But the colours, it's as if it came out of the wrapping 100 years ago.
That's
sensational.
So these pieces you've been putting together for quite some time for the LAPADA Fair.
Well, it was really what's happened is we put it aside for the book. Because we always do, this is our 4th or 5th book.
Yeah.
And then I started to look at this and I thought we need a really big stand. So I've ended up taking the largest stand I've ever taken, except for the first masterpiece when I took one that was 60 square metres.
Right.
Because we had a full-size billiard table that represented the building of the British Empire.
Right.
Which was just out of this world.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another story, long gone.
I think I know the person that bought that. Does that billiard table now reside in China?
No.
Ah, I don't then.
Another one I had resides in China.
Is it quite similar?
No, it's a black and gilt one.
Oh.
Very, very.
Okay,
very
maybe that's the one I'm thinking about.
I think
okay,
it possibly is.
Okay.
I sold that a couple of years ago.
Yes.
So this is an interesting, a whole very interesting stand because it's full of colour.
Yeah.
We're taking 2 rosewood side cabinets, and as you see, they actually stick out, so we know exactly how far they stick out into the room.
I think it's absolutely. It's like not only the inner workings of the stand as it's going to be, it's actually the inner workings of your brain.
Simplicity. But David, I know it seems childish.
It doesn't.
I watched Blue Peter a lot of years. This works for me. I've had. We used to do the masterpiece stands on a CAD machine.
Yeah.
It was great, but actually it doesn't give me the same effect as this does.
Charlie, I'm telling you, I almost sense that I can walk through your stand.
Well,
and I know,
me too well,
I know that all of these gaps are measured. Where's your measuring rule?
Well, that represents 1 metre.
Right.
And a ½ metre.
Right.
Now, I always like a minimum of a ½ metre to walk between things. So I haven't decided whether this beautiful oak table is going to go here.
Yeah.
So I can just, those are Montague Dawson, so they're going over there. What's this? Anglo-Indian architect. It's a beautiful table. Now, that might sit quite nicely there because it's got a ratchet top and you've got a big hole here. But I could just move it around half a metre.
So you can see that people can wander around safely and easily around your stall. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm deeply impressed because I've done fairs in my time and I haven't put 10 minutes worth of thinking time into the setup of the fair. I get there, I panic, I sweat, I stress, and I see how much stuff I can get on the stand.
David, you're joining us there, I hope. You're going to see that because I'm flying back into the UK to do the fair the night before we set up. So, but anyone that wants to come, just go on our website and get a ticket. I hope it'll be worth the view. And in this cabinet up here, I've been collecting important yachting trophies from around the world for the last year, 2 years.
Yeah.
And we've got 6 or 7 absolute crackers.
Gonna go there.
Yeah, and the latest one I bought, which I'm so excited about, is get this, 1846 silver gilt trophy for the Lyme Regis and Charmouth Regatta.
Right.
Now, in those days, the regatta was yachting, rowing and swimming as well.
Yeah.
But this was won by a particular yacht from the Royal Falmouth Yacht Club, if I remember rightly. So that'll be there.
Right.
So we've got a lot of interesting history that we've dug up on that, newspaper articles about who gave the cup, and he was a bit of a scallywag as it turned out. He was an MP, funny enough.
No way! I'm so
To be a
surprised.
very naughty boy. So it's just.
Okay, you're excited. You're very excited.
I love it. It's great.
I'm excited.
Just hope it works.
Well, I know, because I'm not going to talk to you about money. You've asked me not to on this one, because it is a massive investment. But
get the shakes.
yeah, but I suppose it's part of what you do. It's long term. You're meeting new clients. You're meeting old clients. It's a social thing as well.
I think it's more than that now, Dave. One, it's obviously what Rusty puts a huge. This is a year's work.
Yeah.
I think for me now, with the internet and what we do with you and Zara and all the team do, this is actually not, it is a selling exhibition, but actually it's a PR exhibition. We're here, and we want everyone around the world to know this is what we do.
Yeah. This is your passion, and they get to meet you. They get to meet the face behind the business. You can look on Wick Antiques, and you've got these beautiful things, but now they meet you. So, are you saying that you, if people get in touch with you, that they can get some tickets to the LAPADA show?
Hop on the website. I think the tickets are gone. The LAPADA website,
right?
And you can get tickets through that.
Okay.
But it's right in Mayfair in Berkeley Square.
Yeah.
Beautiful time of year. September, if the weather's good, it's glorious.
Yeah, it is, absolutely.
And just to finish you off,
Go on.
Here is going to be a beautiful late 19th, early 20th century carved fire surround that was in Churchill's house in London and was taken out, we believe, in 1965.
Right.
When we got hold of it, it had about 28 coats of white paint on.
Yeah.
48 hours of hand stripping to get it back to pint. It's absolutely fabulous.
So we've got Nelson's fireplace.
27 and 28 Hyde Park Gate. That was it.
That was his house.
Yeah.
So we're going to have Nelson's fire surround.
Well, Nelson would have sat in this room because he was a governor of this society.
But sort of dedicated to Nelson. So a certain connection to Nelson.
Yeah.
And then Churchill's actual fire surround.
Yeah.
Two great heroes from our great British past.
Yeah, but most important about this which is you can't really see it, but the carvings in the frieze here are all nautically related. Navigation, cannons.
Yeah.
And these guys, this society supplied, I think it was 8 to 10% of the young lads, and they were 10, 12, 14 years old, to the British Navy at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're going to see you there, Charlie.
Hope so, David.
We'll see the real stand.
Come and film it as an empty stand and watch the build-up.
Well, let's do that. Great. We'll see you there.
Don't break a leg.